Major Slack Videos.
Yeah, this is fun.
Shut up, Pee-wee.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the name is Slack. Thanks for coming back. Let's walk through some more Divinity Original Sin 2, and here we are. Let's start playing the game.
Slack, you gotta be the stupidest gamer ever. You didn't even spend any of your points.
Looks like somebody missed part 1. Go back to part 1 and look into video description and look under what happens at level 4, and you see why I saved all my points. Now, I didn't spend any of my points, and I don't intend on spending any points until level 4. Next,
Slack, how did you do that move there?
well, you just press triangle.
But I'm on the PC.
Don't you hate when people do that? Okay, so here's your crash course on how to play Divinity Original Sin 2, and there's no point in telling you what keys I pressed to do what, because I've remapped everything. And I'm sure everybody else has remapped everything as well. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to refer to all these actions by the actual name in the list of controls. So if you go to Options, Controls, hopefully there's something equivalent to this in the PS4 and Xbox One version, so you can see all the controls you have at your disposal. And I'm just going to tell you the name of the control I'm doing, and the default key for the PC. And if you're on Xbox or PS4, you just have to use the name of the control to figure out what's going on. Alright, I'll put a list of controls that I commonly use up on the screen now. The first batch of controls. Up you go. Let's start with the top of the list. Toggle camera rotate. That's what this is right here. Toggle camera rotate. By default, it's the middle mouse button. Camera zoom in. Camera zoom out. Camera forward. Camera backward. Camera left. Camera right. Camera center. This is important. This will bring you back to your avatar. And as you see, it's spun around, and it always spins around so that north is up. I have it set like that. If you don't want it like that, change it. Go into Options, Gameplay, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see here, Rotating Minimap. I prefer to have this off so that, first of all, the map always has north up, and when you press Camera Center, your character will always automatically orient himself or herself so that north is up. Alright, so let's try that again. Camera center, boom, north is up like that. Next, toggle tactical camera. This is what I call loot camera. Toggle tactical camera. I rarely use this in combat. I will use this in combat shortly later on in this video, but this is probably one of the only times I actually use this in combat. So it's like a top-down view. This is very useful for looting. Movement. I think on the console version you could actually use the joystick to move. It appears to me the only way you can continually move in the PC version is to hold down the left mouse button in front of your character and then like lead him around like that, or her around like that. I find this very awkward, so all I do is just point and click. Point and click everywhere, anywhere, and your character will move there. This is the way I mostly play the game, just point and click. If you point and click like close to your character, they'll walk. If you point and click further away, they'll run. It's that simple. Sneak. This is much better demonstrated when there's people around. There's no people around. Let's just try this again. Toggle sneak. That's what this is. And then you can sneak around. You'll disguise yourself as a barrel or as a bush or as a rock depending on the environment. And I'll show you more about that later on when there's actually people to sneak around. Toggle sneak again to turn that off. Toggle character panels. This is a great one because it brings up both your inventory and your character sheet, which are two great panels to bring up together. Here's your character. Here's all the equipment slots that you have. A helmet, armor, gloves, belt, boots, rings, pants, and your weapons, which you can have one-handed weapons or two-handed weapons, or you could have a one-handed weapon and nothing in the other hand, or you could dual wield one-handed weapons, put one in each hand, or you can have a one-handed weapon and a shield in the other hand. Here is your source color. This is part of the story. You've been colored This is to prevent you from using source magic so that it doesn't attract monsters known as Void Woken. Your job, your mission, Jim, should you decide to accept, is to get this collar removed. That's one of your major objectives in this game. In the early part of this game is to get this collar removed. As long as this collar is on, you cannot wear any amulets or necklaces. As soon as you get this collar off, you have a new equipment slot where you can put amulets or necklaces there. But right now it's on, so it takes up that slot. Can't use any amulets or necklaces. This is your inventory. You can press auto sort to, like, let's say you have everything like that. Press auto sort to sort it back up again. You can also sort by last picked up, value, weight, durability, and type. You can also sort by category. So if you just want to show your equipment, armor and weapons, click that. We don't have any armor weapons. If you just want to click by consumables, magic stuff, ingredients for crafting, miscellaneous, and books and keys. And this is for wares. I'll show you about that later on when we start selling stuff off. That's that. Over here, I've shown you this before. Pretty much covers that. Next, hotbar. This is your hotbar here. This is for like easy access for combat. So you put stuff that you want to use in combat here on your hotbars. You have 5 hotbars. To toggle between the hotbars, press UI hotbar next. That goes up to the next hotbar. Next 3, next 4, next 5. And if you press the UI hotbar next, it goes back to the beginning. So let's say you go up to 3, you can also press UI hotbar previous to go back down. Now here's something they did. Something they did with the definitive edition. I don't know why they did this, but typically on the first hotbar, the first item here would be your basic attack. For some reason in the definitive edition, they put the basic attack on the second hotbar. I don't like it like this. I want to change it back to the way it was before in the classic edition. How do you do that? So like this is how you do it. Make sure you unlock your hotbar by clicking here. Then you could just drag and drop this basic attack off the second hotbar. Go back to the first hotbar and drag and drop these ones over to make space. There. Then click on toggle actions bar on hotbar. By default this is X on the PC, whatever that is for you on the console. Toggle actions bar on hotbar. That brings up this here and shows you some basic stuff. Here's your basic attack, and you can just drag and drop this into the first slot in its rightful position on the first hotbar, and then close that up, and then everything is back to normal. So that's how you fix that. And what I normally like to do is put healing stuff on the second hotbar and extra attacks on the third hotbar. So let's just do that right now. Bring up the inventory, show all. We have a healing potion here. We're not going to use it. This is just for demonstrational purposes because I don't want to use this right now. Let's go up to the second hotbar. Put that there. Resurrection scroll. This will be useless to us because I'm going solo. So I'm going to end up selling all my resurrection scrolls. But if you're not going solo, you'd be wise to put a resurrection scroll on everybody so that when somebody dies, you can resurrect the other guy. But like I said, I'm going solo eventually. So we'll just leave that there like that. Let's go up to the third hotbar and put our water balloon. Doesn't sound like much of a weapon, but it is actually. And that's that for now. Next, toggle crafting. Here's your crafting screen. To attempt to craft something, simply drag and drop it into something into that slot up there. You can also just click on it. Click on it, automatically goes there. Let's click on the water balloon. So we have 2 things we're going to attempt to craft together. Click on combine. If you get a valid combination, it will show up here. If you get an invalid combination, you just get a big red X and nothing happens. You have start off with a few recipes, potions, grenades. If we had the ingredients to make any of these recipes, it would be highlighted. As you can see, none of them are highlighted, so we don't have any of the ingredients. For example, physical armor potion requires 1 empty potion bottle and 1 Amaduvier. We don't have that. If we did have that, both those items would appear here. It would be highlighted here. You could just click combine right here to automatically combine it instead of having to go to the crafting menu here. You will find recipes throughout the game, usually in books. Sometimes even simply by accessing another NPC you'll get recipes, or you can discover recipes just by experimenting, just by trying stuff out like I just did there. Once you discover a valid recipe, it will be added to your recipe book automatically. That's crafting. Crafting, do not ignore it. I know a lot of people like to ignore crafting in games like this. Do not ignore it. Crafting is immensely useful. I'm going to show you that later on. I depend on it heavily for my strategy. Alright, so I'll show you that later on. Next, force attack. It's called destruction toggle. If you want to force attack something, that's what you do. Press the destruction toggle button. So let's do this. She's going to punch it or kick it, and it does a little bit of damage, but we have no weapons right now. Show sneak combs. That's not going to do anything right now because there's nobody around, so I'll show you that later on. And that is it. That is your crash course on how to play Divinity Original Sin 2. I'll show you a few more things later on, but that's the long and short of it. This area right here is called the tutorial deck. This did not exist in the original classic game. This only exists, they added this just recently when they released the game for consoles. It's called the tutorial deck. If you don't want to do anything on the tutorial deck, just click on this ladder here and you'll climb up. But we do want to do stuff, but be advised, no XP can be earned on the tutorial deck. So why are you doing it? It's like to get stuff. You can get a lot of stuff on the tutorial deck. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the tutorial deck, get stuff, and then we're going to go upstairs. That's the plan. Let's do it. How do you get stuff? Hover over anything to see if it's a lootable container. If you see a gold chest like that, gold chest icon like that, this is something that is lootable and could possibly have loot in it. So click on it and we see this is empty. Now if you hover over the same container again, you see you have a gray chest icon. That means it's been looted. And it also says desk empty, although that may not say empty. Often it will just have the gray icon. So that's your biggest indication of whether that thing has been looted or not, is whether it's gold or gray. But actually it only indicates whether you've accessed it or not. It doesn't necessarily say it's been looted or not. And finally, there's some things in the world that you can interact with. Like for example, this candle holder. Turn it on or turn it off. Most of the time it doesn't really do anything significant. There's also a skull over here.
Bones are so boring. Without flesh, there's no memories to be had.
And did I show that? Show world tips? Did I skip over that? Just checking my notes here. I think I did. Show world tips. That's another thing you can do. That's what I'm pressing right now. This works great with tactical camera. This is what I call loot mode. It really helps you to find out where all the stuff in the current area is. So in there we have a bucket over there. You can easily go and grab it. And this should show up here. Another bucket here. So when you press down show world tips, it shows the stuff you can loot in the immediate area. That's it. Let's get underway. We're going to work our way. Oh, of course, map. That's obvious. You have a map button. We're going to work our way around the tutorial deck like this. Go along the bottom here. Go to this final area here. There's going to be a couple fights in this area. No XP, but we can get stuff for engaging in these fights, so we're going to do that. They're going to be pretty tough fights too because we're on Tactician Mode and we have no skills. But I'm going to show you how to get through that with flying colors. Then we're going to come back through this way and get back to our original starting point, and the tutorial deck will be finished. Let's get busy. Lootable containers here. We got ourselves some rope. Let's check this out. We want to go through the door. How do you get through the door? You could destroy the box, or you could just move the box. Press and hold down the interact button and just drag the box over like that. Now we can go through the door. Go through the door.
An animal pen. How utterly charming.
If we had the pet pal talent, we could talk to this animal, but we don't. So if you do talk to it,
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
ouch. Alright. Same to you. Okay, so nothing to can be had there. Let's loot here, nothing in here. Let's grab this water bucket. Show world tooltip to see what's going on in here. And really there's just these 3 boxes over here and this vase to loot there. First of all, just for demonstrational purposes, let's go through try to go through this door. Can't go through the door. It's locked. We can't pick the lock because we don't have any lock picks. And as you can see, if you hover over the door, it has a health bar of 434. If you can't pick the lock on the door and you can't you don't have the key, you could potentially break through the door, but if we force attack this door, our damage is so low right now, it will take us 7 years to break through the door. So let's try attack it, and as you can see, we only did 2 damage. So it's going to take like, you know, over 200 hits to break down the door. That's just, you know, that's not acceptable. What we have to do is find the key. Where's the key? Select the key is over here in this vase. So let's go loot all these items here. Nothing there. Oh, we got some money here, a little bit of chump change, nothing here. And let's just loot the vase. And we get the cargo door key. To loot everything in a container, press this button up here. To close the container without looting it, just click that X. So let's loot it. Oh, wait, forgot this here. Nothing here. Another bucket. And let's go through the door. Oh wait, there's another bucket there. We have no armor to speak of, but like I said before in the previous video, you can actually wear buckets as armor. If you hover over them, you see this gives you 2 physical armor, but -1 initiative. But it doesn't matter because we're fighting solo. So to equip an item, you can either double click on the item and it will automatically equip to the slot that it applies to, or you can drag and drop it. So let's just drag and drop it from there over to the helmet slot, and there we go. We now have 2 physical armor given to us by the bucket, but our initiative dropped by 1, but that's okay because we're fighting solo. Here's a whole bunch of stuff. Sometimes these kitchen racks here are lootable, so make sure you check them all out. And we got ourselves a minor healing potion. Alright. And here we have some stuff on the table right here. Here's another kitchen rack. Nothing there. Let's grab all the stuff on the table. Usually I just grab everything and then I sort it out later, what's junk and what's not. It's just a lot faster. Here we have a note. Let's check it out. It's a letter. Go to your inventory, click on notes to sort by notes and keys, and double click on this to read that. And we have some important information here. It's come to my attention again that several of you are bypassing the cargo hold security measures by sliding boxes onto the pressure plates. Very interesting. Let's go up here. We find ourselves another door. It's another 434 health door. We can't break through it until next year, but we can open it by simply sliding some boxes or whatever onto these 2 pressure plates. Let's try that. Move this over here and loot this barrel. This barrel always contains a pocket knife. I've tested this with other characters. That's very important. Take that pocket knife, equip it right away. Equipment, double click on it. We now have a weapon. And because we have a weapon equipped in one hand and nothing in the other hand, if you go down to your hotbar, you see you have a new skill, Sucker Punch. This becomes available whenever you have, like I said, a weapon in one hand and nothing in the other hand. So this is an important skill that we're going to use in the fights coming up, because this is the only thing that we have available to us besides flesh sacrifice or basic attack. This is going to actually be very useful. Alright, so make sure you equip that and you're ready to go. And that's it. Let's go through the door. Can't, because we have to put another, so let's move that guy over there. And the door opens up because we got these 2 pressure plates covered. Go through the door. Down here is where it all happens. Don't go down there yet. let's go across this way. We're going to go through some oil, so we're going to get slowed. Hover over your character and you see at the bottom of the list there it says slowed. That only lasts for a tiny little bit because we're not in combat. It's going to wear off very quickly. See, it's already worn off. Don't forget to grab this rope here. And this barrel always contains some lockpicks. It may also contain some money, but I've tested it. Always has lockpicks. So let's grab that. And now we can use these lockpicks to pick this lock. This is a very low level door. So we don't need any thievery, points in thievery to pick this lock. But other doors you'll encounter later on, or other chests that are locked, will require at least some points in thievery in order to unlock it. So having lockpicks alone will not be enough. You'll need points in thievery. But this one is no problem. Just right click, click on pick lock, picky picky picky. And we can now go through the door, unlocked. And let's loot around here. What you got for me? Nothing in here. Ooh, painting of man worth 40 bucks. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Over here we have another potion. And over here we have a poison spill and an ooze barrel, which you can actually pick up. And I recommend that you do this. So just click on it to pick it up, put it in your inventory, and now we can add poison damage to our pocket knife by bringing up the crafting screen. But before we do that, let's take our pocket knife out of the equip slot, because you can't craft with anything that's equipped. Shut that down, bring up your crafting screen. Here we have the ooze barrel and your pocket knife. Click on the ooze barrel to add it, click on the pocket knife to add it, click on combine, and your pocket knife now has poison damage. Wow, yeah, wow. Pretty good, eh? Alright, so we're going to take that into combat with us. Put it back in the equip slot. Now we get the sucker punch ability back. Let's bring the poison barrel along for now. Don't forget this minor healing potion. You want to do your best to try to save these healing potions, okay? So don't use them up. We have 4 healing potions now. Gonna leave them like that for now. We could combine them. I'm not going to do that right away. We could combine these to make medium healing potions, but let's just leave them like that for now, just in case we run into some troubles with these 2 fights that we got coming up. Alright, so let's go back to the top of the stairs here. As soon as we go down here, this is where it's all going to happen. 2 fights, one with this Magister and another tougher fight with this guy here, Hemwar. Let's start with the Magister. Go down the stairs.
You there. Come here.
Go to the bottom of the stairs. Try to put yourself as close to this oil spill as possible. Do a quick save just in case something horrible happens. Mr. Fumblefinger shows up, or there's some kind of misclick when you go into the fight. Alright, so let's make sure we're ready for this fight. Dagger equipped. Oh yeah, we should also grab this thing here. Electrical discharge scroll. And let's get busy. Get the hotbar ready. Sucker punch is ready to go. Click on this.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens, and then another.
Is my shift over? Are you here to relieve me?
Yes, we are.
Oh, wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy elf? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face.
Alright, so we have a bunch of dialogue options here. 3 of them are persuasion checks. If you have points in persuasion and you have points in wits or constitution or finesse, you could possibly win this persuasion check and this guy will leave you alone. We don't have any points invested in anything. So we might as well just tell the guard you're itching for a fight and he's your mark. Let's do this thing.
A collared sauce freak thinks she can clobber a red. Damn fool.
Hang on, sneeze alert. Oh! Okay, I'm back. Sorry, allergy season here in Montreal, Quebec. Let's get into our first fight. and he goes rushing over. Hopefully he gets close enough.
Known there'd be trouble.
Alright, so here's our first fight. As you can see, we have 4 green dots. That indicates we have 4 action points at our disposal right there. Once those green dots are used up, our turn is over. This gray bar indicates it's the end of the round. First guy up to bat in the next round is this guy, Magister Renard. He has his turn, then it's back to us. When there's more people on the enemy side, more people on your side, you have a more complex round turn bar up here. I'll show that later on when we get into another fight. Alright, so it is our first fight. First thing you could do, all elves start out with this special skill here, Flesh Sacrifice. Gain 1 action point immediately and a 10% damage boost for 2 turns at the cost of -1 constitution. That's like your first thing you should do whenever you start a fight with an elf. Click on that. Click on yourself to activate Flesh Sacrifice. And you can see now Constitution is -1. Often you'll take a hit to your vitality bar. This time is so low that it doesn't matter. And we now have an extra action point. Instead of 4 action points, we now have 5 action points. So we have 1 extra action point. Next, what we can do, since we have a dagger, if we can get behind him, we can do a critical hit. A guaranteed critical hit. So just move your cursor. That's another thing I should show you right now. Wherever you move your pointer, it shows you exactly how much AP action points is required to do that move. So if we want to move there, that will cost 1 AP. If we want to move there, it's going to cost 2 AP. Here, 3 AP. If you want to simply do a basic attack on this guy, that's 2 AP. And so on and so forth. If we can get behind him, let's just go to tactical camera. If you can get behind him right there, as you can see, it kind of changes. You see, you get a little dagger icon. Here, you don't. But here, we're directly behind him. That means we could do a backstab critical. So let's get behind him. That means we can do a guaranteed critical hit. And as you can see, when you hover over him, it's no longer a sword icon. It's a stabby icon. So now we can get a backstab critical for the cost of 2 AP. Let's pull that off. And another thing, go to the bottom right corner and find toggle log. Click that on. And this tells you everything that happens during the fight. I always like to have this on so that I know exactly what happened. So as you can see, Sibyl attacked Magister Renard for 7 physical damage. And we only have 2 action points left. We may not be able to finish him off. So let's do a sucker punch. This is resisted by physical armor, but he doesn't have any physical armor, so it's guaranteed to work. So let's click on that. He has to be within the 2-meter range. He's in with the 2-meter range. Click on him. Sucker punch. He falls down. Our turn is over because we ran out. Well, no, not quite yet. We still have 1 action point, but there's nothing we can do with it. If you end your turn with the action points left over, they get carried over to the next turn. So let's just end our turn now because there's nothing we can do with this spare action point. He misses this turn because he was knocked down for 1 turn. Now he's back up. Now it's back to us again. And we have a full set of new action points plus the 1 that was carried over from the previous turn. So now we should be able to easily finish him off. Do another backstabby and he's dead. Down you go.
So much for a peaceful stroll.
And let's loot him and we get some stuff. We get the laboratory key, 4 gold and some wood chips. Not the best haul, but yeah, we came here for stuff and that's what we got. So we just won our first fight. Next fight was with Hemwar. Once again, none of these fights, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but none of these fights will give you any XP. As you can see, experience is still at 0. To get to the next level, we need 2000 XP. We're just doing this for the stuff and for the practice. Next fight is with this guy. He tends to throw a lot of fireballs. You want to rid the area of any oil barrels, because if his fireballs hit the oil barrels, which it will, it's going to create a big burning mess, and it's going to be hell. So the first thing we should do before we engage with this guy is to move this oil barrel as far out of the way as possible. Let's move over here, move this guy right over there, and we're good. Next, make sure you got your dagger equipped so the sucker punch is ready to go. Flesh sacrifice is ready to go. Go and stand right in front of the cell right here. And make sure that all statuses are worn off. So we're not wet, we're not slowed by oil. Do a quick save just in case Mr. Fumblefinger steps in or there's some kind of misclick in the fight. And to start it off, hit the lever and go right in and right away.
The prisoner's eyes meet yours. He speaks not with gratitude, but with gleeful malevolence.
The reason why you want to go in right away after you hit that lever is because you want to get as close to him as possible. If you can get close to him, he won't use his fire attacks. He'll do melee attacks, and you can survive melee attacks no problem. Alright, so make sure you do that. Hit the lever and then quickly go in as soon as the door is open. Continue.
Oh, freedom tastes better than wine.
Okay.
And I can set you free in return. Say your prayers while you've breath to speak them, lass.
That doesn't sound very friendly. Okay, and we're in our second fight. He comes over, he hits you. Because we're within melee range. If you were far away, he'd shoot a fireball at you, which would be a lot worse. But this is ideal. This is exactly what you want. Let's go into tactical camera mode so that we can see what's going on here a lot better. We have 4 action points. Once again, first thing you should do as an elf is click on Flesh Sacrifice. Give yourself a damage bonus and an extra action point. Click on yourself to activate Flesh Sacrifice. Once again, we're very close to him. Look for the backstabby spot behind him. No good? Good, right there. See the backstabby thing? Get behind him, it will cost 1 AP. Now we have 4 action points left. But he has a full health bar, so this is going to be a lot more difficult. Let's do a backstabby. But got a backstab critical. And now, let's do a sucker punch. This is going to work because he has no physical armor. So we're going to make him miss his turn. And there's one thing I should have done earlier. Okay, we'll do that after. Sucker punch. Knock him down. Let's go into our inventory now. We picked up this electrical discharge scroll. We should be able to add this to our hotbar without costing any AP. Very good. Okay, so add that to your hotbar. We can't use it because we don't have enough action points. Now it's there, it's ready to go. We only have 1 action point left. We're going to save that for the next turn. He's knocked down, so he's going to miss his next turn. If you right click on him and then examine, there you see knocked down for 1 turn. So his whole next turn is going to be missed because he's knocked down. Let's save our action point for the next turn. Click on end turn. He wastes his turn because he was knocked down. Now it's back to our turn again. Can't use knockdown again because it's timed out. Can't use Flesh Sacrifice again because it's timed up, but we still have the effects. What we can do though is do another backstab critical.
Hurts, doesn't
There's
it?
a lot of damage there. Love that. Alright, so we did 7 physical damage and 3 poison damage. We only have 3 action points left. Let's spend them wisely. We have an electric discharge scroll. This will electrify any wet surface. And lo and behold, this guy's standing in some blood. So let's use that there. So on that, make sure you throw it in front of him. Hopefully it won't hit us. Throw it there. And he's stunned for a turn. So if you click on him and click on examine, stunned for 1 turn. So once again, he's going to miss his turn. Insert diabolical laughter. We have 1 action point left. Let's save it for the next turn. He misses his turn because he's stunned. And now we should be able to finish him off with some backstab criticals.
Hurts, doesn't
1,
it?
2, hope you don't miss.
What would he
And
have
we
to
won
win by
our
killing
second
me?
fight.
I need to keep my guard up.
Yes, you do. But stick with the slack and you won't get whacked. Let's see what he has. Oh, he actually has money this time. You may get nothing. Don't be surprised if you get nothing, but this time he has money. Right? So that was the whole purpose of going through this area, is to get stuff. Now, if you got injured a little bit, what you can do is just sleep. And it restores your health for free. Later on, you're going to get bed rolls. You can carry these bed rolls around in your inventory. You can use those to restore the health and armor of all your party by just simply sleeping. And that is it for this area. We can collect a couple more things. The buckets are worth money, the bowls are not.
Rubbish.
Now it's the bill. We can sell that bucket. Click on this lever here. Open this cell. What's in here? We can collect the bucket. That's about it. Bowl is worth nothing and they can't even craft with it. And that is it. We get the rope on top of there. We're done. I believe we looted everything in here. If we walk through this poison, we'll survive, no problem. But just for demonstrational purposes, we can actually dispel this poison spill with some oil. So let's go grab an oil barrel. Back down here. These barrels weigh a ton, by the way. So we're going to have to temporarily drop our ooze barrel. Right click on that, drop, take on the oil barrel. Let's go back up here. Open your inventory, right click on the oil barrel, drop item, puts it down. We can kind of move it over to put it right on top of the poison and then force attack it. Once again, that's toggle destruction or destruction toggle. Hit it, bust it open, and the oil dispels the poison. Although now there's oil, but it will only slow us, it won't damage us. So that's preferable to being poisoned. Let's go back and get the ooze barrel just in case there's other weapons upstairs that we can apply extra poison damage to. Although the ooze barrel we're eventually going to have to drop because it weighs a ton. Like I said, it weighs 60 pounds. But I'll show you a solution to that later on. So now we can go through the oil spill. Nothing more to pick up here. This door here only has 6 health, so we can easily break through it by force attacking it. So hold down destruction toggle, get your little sword icon, give it a whack, give it another whack, and the door breaks open and we can go through. Don't believe there's anything to loot in this area here. So just hit the lever. This will open that door. Should open the door. Go through.
And I'm back where I started.
And
Nowhere to
what
go
she
but
said.
up.
Nowhere to go but up. And that's it. That's the tutorial deck done. Let's go up to the original starting deck of the game, which is upstairs. And I believe I got everything. So we're done. Let's go upstairs. Are you sure you want to leave the tutorial deck? Yes. Up we go. And now we can finally see some entries in our journal.
No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
So we have some story, some backstory here. You can pause the video and read this up if you so desire. More backstory. And our first quest. Troubled Waters, Hot Under the Collar, and Hunt for the Master. This is Sibyl's origin story quest. This is a quest that everyone has. The objective is to get your bearings and then get to the upper deck. And this is a quest that everyone has. Remove your collar. Alright, and that is coming up next video. That's it for this video. That's it for the tutorial deck. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Major Slack. See you next video. Hey guys, real walkthroughs like these are an endangered species here on YouTube. For a complete lowdown on the YouTube video game walkthrough scene, check out my Patreon page and please consider making a donation to yours truly, Major Slack, to help keep real walkthroughs alive on YouTube. You can donate as little as $1. That's $1, that's all. That's all it takes, alright? Thanks a lot, really appreciate it.